Yo guys, what's good, and welcome back to the next episode of my NQT Diaries show. This week has been pretty good. It is now Saturday. I'm intending to get this video out this evening, so hopefully you will be watching it the same day that I filmed it, but if not, it will be out on Sunday. If you have already been watching them, fantastic. This is, I think, like the 5th episode of the show so far. If you haven't seen the others, go and check them out. It goes over and I talk a little bit about what I have been doing so far, and the whole purpose of this is to keep you guys updated in the loop about my experience of being an NQT week by week, talking about the pros and the cons, things that I have found challenging, things that have been surprisingly easy, and yeah, just to sort of give you guys a bit of a diary, a bit of a run through of how my time as an NQT is going. This week has, yeah, it's been a good week. It's gone really quickly, but there's been quite a lot of updates, quite a lot of new things are going on. We have 1 week left of the first term, so we've got a lot to discuss. I'm going to do my best to keep this video shorter. I know that the previous ones have all been about 20 minutes long, so let's just get stuck straight into the video. Let's get on to the first topic. Right, let's do it. Alright guys, so we're going to kind of breeze through Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday were, nothing new came up, nothing happened out of the ordinary. Monday was pretty smooth, all the children were behaving pretty well. Tuesday, same really. The only thing that did happen that is a bit different to previous events of the past, there was one child in my class was misbehaving and had moved down to red on the behaviour chart and had done a few things that were just completely unacceptable, and as a result one of my TAs went to the head to talk to him about it and showed him the evidence we had collected up throughout the morning. As a result, the child was excluded for a day. So Wednesday, which was my PPA day anyway, this specific individual was not in the class any longer. Only for the day, but they were excluded, which was a new one for me. It got to a point where we felt that this needed to go further than we had been taking it previously. And what it also meant is that his parents were also more engaged and understood the problems that we were having in class a little bit more, because you don't just get excluded for being silly, right? You've got to act out in more than one way in order for, you know, the head to feel that it's necessary to remove you for the day. So that happened, which was interesting, but it did also sort of, I suppose, empower me and my support staff, because it meant that we felt comfortable that the head and the other senior leaders were behind us and supporting us, and from now on we at least have a schedule or regime or something in place, so that if it does happen again, we know what we can do in order to cause the least distraction to the class and to promote learning. And if this means removing this individual, then that will have to happen. Tuesday afternoon, I stayed back to mark my maths books. One of the things that I struggle with a little bit is that because I'm in a year 3 and 4 class, so both year groups are in the same class, and the year 4s, especially when it comes to maths, are quite advanced. I've pushed them, I've given them various things. This week I even gave them some year 6 work that they, for the most part, they struggled with it, but they understood what they needed to do to answer the questions properly, which was brilliant for me. It was, you know, I know now where I can push them. But then on the opposite end of the scale, I've got some year 3s that are really low ability. And so trying to judge that accordingly has been a little bit tricky, because I've been giving some children sheets that I would expect them to be able to do and they've really struggled. And then I've given other children worksheets that I thought would be a challenge and they've aced it. So I had a really good look through the maths books on Tuesday afternoon, and as part of this I was also talking, I had an opportunity to talk with the ELSA lead. So ELSA is the sort of a role where it's like emotional support. and we spoke about a few children in my class, and we came up with some sort of referral forms and referrals so that the children in the class that are struggling with certain things can get the additional support. So Tuesday afternoon was pretty good. Stayed back until the end of after school club to support the ladies in the after school club, and yeah, otherwise generally speaking quite uneventful. We then come to Wednesday. Wednesday was PPA day. I got in and we were short on a member of staff, so I was asked to cover the first hour, which essentially was just guided reading and spellings. So I covered the first hour, then I went upstairs and I then got on with my planning. So all my planning for next week is now finished, and just general PPA stuff. And then in the afternoon we had a meeting. The one development that came from this was that we have got SIAMS coming in next Thursday. Why they of all times chose this, 2 days before the end of term, I don't know, but SIAMS essentially is sort of the religious version of Ofsted. We are a Church of England school, and being a sort of a church school, we have to make sure that we are covering a lot of the RE in the curriculum, and I know other schools have to do that, but there's more emphasis on us doing RE and making it like part of our daily schedule, and so they're coming in to assess that we are doing that to an appropriate level, which isn't like Ofsted. You don't have the same pressures, I suppose, but there is a lot more emphasis on making sure that the marking is correct, making sure that we're following the school's values, that you can see that as a school we are trying to promote good Christian values to the children. So yeah, now is the fun job of prepping for SIAMS next Thursday. So yeah, I'm intrigued as to how that's going to go down. But otherwise, Wednesday was pretty uneventful. Staff meeting was good. We spoke about behaviour. We spoke about my plans. So for those children that need a bit of additional support within the classroom, the next week, because it's the last week of half term, all of the my plans need to be updated and reviewed. So I've got about, 8 probably my plans that I need to make sure are finished by the end of next week. So that's adding on to the list of things I need to do, but it's important that we're supporting the children that need that extra support. Thursday was good. It was a good day. The head was out for the day and had asked and had got a supply teacher in, but the class that the supply teacher was going to go into didn't need him, so we got him in the morning. So he did a bit of one-to-one work with one of the children, and it was really good. This child did some amazing work, and he normally can be a bit distracted, and having that additional member of staff in the room was brilliant. So we had we had him in, should I say. And then in the afternoon, which was even better, we had I think she is volunteering at the moment, and she wants a bit. I think she's a work experience student. And she came in and supported in the afternoon, which was even better. So I had 4 adults in my classroom, myself including, for the entire day, which was brilliant. It meant I could focus on other things as well, and I could support the children that I otherwise wouldn't get as much time with. So yeah, it was good. If you're watching this, try and make the most of all of your adults. Be as resourceful as you can. Because honestly, even just the addition of 1 adult made the world of difference. One thing I did do on Thursday was Thursday afternoon. At the moment, as I've said in my previous videos, and if you haven't seen them, go and watch them. We are looking at sort of the environment, and we're looking at settlements at the moment in our topic. So rivers, mountains, volcanoes, etc. And at the moment, I'm focusing on oceans. And what I decided to do Thursday afternoon was to really talk about pollution and plastics within the ocean. It's a topic that's hotly debated at the moment. Greta Thunberg, I think her name is. She is a young activist that's really trying to promote conservation and, sort of trying to turn this around, which is brilliant for the children because, I think Greta's a little bit older than the children I teach, but if they see someone of a similar age that is doing such good work to support the environment, it helps them, want to do it as well. So we created some posters that I'm going to stick around school come Monday to really help promote sort of saving the planet, conservation, being smart with plastics, trying to limit the use of single-use plastics, and I played some videos, they made some posters, but the biggest thing that I did was I mixed all of the children up. So children that would otherwise not have worked together, I got them paired up working with each other. It meant that behaviourally, it meant that for their behaviour, those children that would otherwise be easily distracted, I stuck with sort of some more sensible year 4s that could control that and that could, focus them. And it was a really nice supportive afternoon, and they produced some really nice work. And now we come on to Friday. Yesterday was a good day. Again, I woke up feeling pretty good. Normally I kind of wake up on Fridays and I'm like, but yeah, no, Friday was a really good day. I went a little bit off curriculum in the morning. We didn't do so much maths because I've drilled maths quite hard with the guys this week. But what we did do is we looked at, and this was partly because we have SIAMS, and I want to sort of show that I'm really pushing the values. But one of our learning skills is independence, trying to be independent learners. And I wanted the children to understand that you don't have to be independent just in school, but you can be more independent at home as well. So what we did in the morning was we created like an independence booklet that I wanted, and I asked the children to fill in over the weekend. And that was, how can we be independent at home? So that could include washing our own dishes, that could include helping parents with the housework, so ironing, or well, not so much ironing, but hoovering by themselves. Helping feed pets or support pets, take dogs for walks and things like that. Obviously, and make sure you do this if you are going to do something similar, I didn't want children to feel that I'd given them permission to do stuff that would be potentially dangerous. So mentioning things like walking the dog, I said, do not walk the dog by yourself. Like, if you want to walk the dog, ask if you can help your mum or dad with walking the dog. Don't just go for a dog walk because your mum will freak out. And things like, don't do anything dangerous. So if, this isn't really dangerous as such, but don't fill the dishwasher up if you know that mum's precious china is not meant to go in the dishwasher, because your mum will freak out. So we did that, and then what I did, which will help hold them accountable, is I went to the office and I gave the office a message to send out to all the parents, just to say that we are doing this. I'm trying to promote independence with your children. This is what piece of work we've done today. I'm going to send it home. I'd really like them to engage with it. Can you encourage them to do so? Sign that they've done it, and then on Monday we can talk about how independence is really beneficial and how it's supportive. And what I also did, which the children probably won't appreciate, is I wanted them to do this completely selflessly. So in the email I also said, and I did tell the children this, I said to them, I don't want you to expect a reward for what you are doing. I want it to be selfless. I want you to be generous. I want you to do it and not then at the end of the day put your hand out for pocket money off mum or dad. And hopefully that will show the parents that I'm trying to help their children become well-rounded individuals and grow into well-rounded people. Because you should never expect anything. Obviously, if you work hard, then you deserve to earn money, etc., and get rewards. But you should always do something and work hard because that's what you want to do, and not always expect that reward at the end. And then the last thing we did yesterday afternoon was a daily mile. We did a big whole school daily mile. Apparently yesterday afternoon, lots of schools from around the country were doing this and were getting involved. The daily mile is like an incentive to encourage children to be a bit more active. So the idea is that once a day, we go out with the children, we do a daily mile. It doesn't usually equate to a mile, but the principle is that we go out, we get them children walking around the playground or playing games to just really promote 15 minutes usually of exercise a day. Encourage them to do that. It helps with their fitness. It helps with their mental side, getting those endorphins going through exercise. So we did that as a school, which was awesome. We all walked across to the school field. I got myself involved. One thing that I really, really urge you to do, and you can be a new teacher with this, or you can be a teacher that's been in the practicing for a number of years, always get involved with the kids. Like, I always find, and this comes partly down to my jitsu experience as well, like, you can never really fully trust someone unless you see them doing what they preach. So with jitsu, I will always, if I get my students to do something that's quite tricky, I will always demonstrate it first. So I will always show them that I can do it, and if I can do it, then they can do it too. and the same principle. So at the start of the daily mile, even though I'd forgotten my trainers, unfortunately, I ran around in my uniform. So I started and I was jogging with them, and I was chatting to some of them as I was going, earing them on, and I was jogging around the school field, and it was muddy and I was slipping all over the place, but I was doing it with them. And then I also, for most of it actually, were helping children. So there was a couple of children that had stitches, so I held their hands and we like jogged around together, and there was a little youngster, she was so sweet, oh my god, she was so sweet, who sort of stopped and just looked at me and just ran up to me like this, and she took my hand and she was in her little wellies and we were jogging around the field. But it was great, and the children were all involved, and like I say, I was able to support those that needed it, and yeah, it was a really nice end to a Friday. So there we go, that was my week wrapped up. Generally speaking, it was a really good week. Nothing really stood out. Like I said, there was that incident where the child got excluded, but he came back in on Thursday and he was pretty good, and his behaviour, generally speaking, improved throughout the end of the week, which was good. One thing I did do this week, which I haven't done before, is there were a selection of children that I have really been getting on at them about their behaviour, and that could just include distractive behaviours, not so much being bad as such. And so I've kept a record of their behaviours every day this week, which I will use as evidence and help them support themselves. And that can obviously then go back to parents, it can go to the head, to the Senko, to really help support these children and say, okay, well, there's a pattern here. Every lunchtime, your behaviour goes downhill. So what can we do to support you during that time so that you don't slip? So it's useful. And if you find that you're in a class with children that tend to act out or display negative behaviours, perhaps taking some sort of behaviour tally or chart would benefit you in your class too. Right guys, I am going to wrap this video up here. This week has been pretty chill, but next week could be interesting. It's the last week of term. We've obviously got on Thursday we've got the big observation where SIAMS is coming in. It's the last day of term on Friday, so the afternoon we're going to be watching a film and taking a bit of relaxation time. As part of that, I've also bought some gifts for the children, for those that have behaved really well, and also a homework gift. So yeah, it should be hopefully a good week, but possibly quite stressful. So that is all to come next week. Thank you guys for checking back in. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you are benefiting from these videos and learning, and it's at least encouraging you to become a teacher or to help you with your practice. And if nothing else, you're seeing that you're not the only one who's possibly struggling with the NQT year. Right, if you enjoy it, hit that like button. If you want to know anything about what I've experienced so far or about my thoughts coming into next week, please leave a comment down below. And as always, if you enjoy this footage and you want to see more content, consider subscribing and ticking that bell notification. Right, I'm out here. Peace.